gentlemen, it's about to go down.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your hosts, RGX, RateWrestle, and Frozzy, representing Honor Club, and you're watching HCW.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the HCW Podcast. I'm your host as always, RGX, joined by Frozzy and RateWrestle, along with our special guest DP who joins us for a second week. How are you guys?
All good. Just another long week of wrestling, trying to cram it all in around actually having a life that's not just around wrestling, but we love it and we're going to carry on doing it.
Awesome. How about yourself, Ray?
Life is pain. No, I'm doing well, yeah. Still on my week off. I've been drinking every day. It's been a wonderful time.
Yeah, I'd hardly call that pain.
Yeah. I'm just indulging the pain. Suppressing the pain? That's the word, isn't it?
But speaking of pain, our man DP, who's back again this week, has been dealing with the tube strikes in London. How fun's that been?
Absolutely devastating.
You deserve it.
I probably do, to be honest.
So, as always, there is a lot of wrestling to get through this week. So we'll get right into it. If you want to kick off with the Smackdown review, please rate.
Excellent. So Smackdown, June 17th. So we started off with Big Vinnie Mac. After the good old something's happening. I don't know if it's big news. Should check out our previous video. But yeah, Vinny came down. He got a massive pop because everyone loves Vinnie Mac no matter what he does. And his whole promo, then, now, forever, together. There you go. That's the Vinnie Mac promo.
You forgot Smackdown.
Yeah, and then the mic throw. So yeah, that was what we were waiting for, that big in-character performance by Vince McMahon.
Rating score.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just... Anyway, we'll move on. So there was a Riddle segment straight after that, so they had two segments back-to-back. They had a long package just about like the Orton stuff and Riddle losing and crap like that. He said thank you to Randy. Like, they keep hinting that Randy's going to retire. I think they're milking it too much now.
Yeah, especially when he's legit probably going to be out the rest of the year.
Yeah. And then he's dedicating the match to... Was this the... I'm just going to have to... Yeah, it was the... I was trying to see if Riddle versus Reigns was this week or it was the week before. It feels so long ago. He's dedicating this match up to Randy. And I just writ here, feels like Randy's dead. That's the way they're going on. It just feels like Randy Orton has passed away and they're not telling us. So yeah, this followed up by my match of the night, which was Happy Corbin versus Madcap Moss. I was excited for this match. I haven't seen it before, and I was just looking forward to it. But Madcap
laugh match, by the way.
Yeah, last laugh.
Last laugh.
But yeah, so Madcap was actually looking pretty decent, to be fair. He got shoved into the ring post. Corbin hit like a deep six or a near fall. He hit a massive choke slam, like an actually huge choke slam. And then there was a part where he clearly broke the count, but no one cared. And then Moss hit a punchline twice for the win. I had it 2.5. It was fine for what it was. I just didn't want to see it anymore.
You'd like to think that was the end of it.
At least like it's going to be Pat McAfee next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, personally.
Because they had, just before that Pat McAfee thing, they had the Street Profits segment, which they're just hyping up the Usos versus Street Profits. Nothing much. We want the smoke. Blah. That's the old promo. Corbin segment straight afterwards. He was basically mocking McAfee for him mocking him. McAfee got on the mic and then started the bum-ass Corbin chant. So yeah, there's going to be a Corbin
Would you-
versus McAfee chant.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
say it was a chant. He said it once and they repeated it back to him once.
Yeah, that's twice you've chanted it there. And then yeah, Corbin laugh him out. That was that. So that's going to be a thing now. You had an Natalia segment, which she's going to beat the respect into Ronda Rousey. Top locking her, I'm telling you now.
That's even the match.
Oh, top lock. That's going to be win me money in the bank, that is. I'm telling you. Ronda's not here. She's going to humble a lot the Sheik, though. That made me pop, I'm going to be honest. And she's going to be the first one that's going to make Ronda Rousey tap out.
To be fair to Ronda, I wouldn't turn up for Natalia. So.
It depends on how we're doing this. Let's move on. So New Jay versus Jinder and Shanky. So this is the quality of SmackDown right now from the first four things I've discussed. Shanky went full Shanky smash for most of the match. Then, out of nowhere, Woods plays the trombone. So Shanky dances. And yeah, and then I believe Mahal blind tags in, and then he's moaning at Shanky for dancing, and he's got whacked with the Trouble in Paradise for the loss. So I rate that 1 star. Like, it was fine for the Shanky smash, but it was stupid.
Yeah, what did you think of it, DP? I want your opinion on this segment.
This was easily the most enthralling and exhilarating moment of the entire show.
Were you caught up in the hypnosis of the trombone as well then?
I couldn't speak because I was watching you, RGX.
Just to confirm, the trombone is the musical instrument we're on about here, in case anyone hasn't watched. So...
Yeah. As far as we're aware, there's no rust.
Yeah.
Good grief. So yeah, there was a Sheamus and Drew segment. Like, SmackDown was full of so many I hate saying the word segment, by the way. There's so many in wrestling right now. They just throw so much crap in. Sheamus basically said Drew bottles it, which is a pretty cool line. Then Adam Pearce said that Sheamus was in the match. Then Drew got annoyed that Sheamus was in the match. There was a line which was big, dirty, hairy bollocks. I don't even remember what that was for.
No.
Then Drew hit a standing Claymore kick, which is very odd. I've never seen him just hit a standing Claymore kick. Normally it's like after a run. And then Pearce goes, "You're in the match as well."
It's not just a big boot. A standing
Yeah.
Claymore.
Yeah.
Oh, it's both legs, so he basically just did a back bump.
Drop kick, yeah, like a 1 foot drop kick if you go in that route, yeah.
It was basically a back bump.
Yeah.
With style. Then there was a Sammy segment. He said to the comment, "Don't play the Glenn game," which I like there. Anything Sammy does is gold at the moment. And he just wants no ill will. That's pretty much all of it. So then this followed by Raquel versus Shayna. So Raquel was just outpowering Shayna for most of it. Shayna was working on the leg. She hit a knee strike, like a proper grim knee strike for a near fall, which was pretty good. Then just out of nowhere, she hit that abrupt bomb out of nowhere.
I don't think they call it the abrupt bomb, but I wish
you told me the name of it continuously.
The Yana bomb.
Yana bomb.
Yeah.
Or as it's known now, the abrupt bomb.
Yeah.
2 stars.
Yeah, am I the only one it's a bit like pure Shayna out of all this?
Yeah.
Shayna.
It's
It's
weird.
been ruined.
Yeah. She's never been good on the main roster.
Yeah, because we were on about it in the awards when you weren't there, RGX, but Shayna's dip in form is insane. Like, she was like, I think she was like 10th in the highest she's ever been on my rankings, and now she's like 49th.
Yeah.
Because she was either in squash matches with like Nia, or she's just been beaten.
Yeah.
Absolutely. She's legit as well, that's what
I was
makes
going to say,
sad.
yeah, she's legit. It's like,
Yeah.
It's a common case of the rise and fall, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this was followed by another segment. Max Dupree can go away straight away now. I'm already bored of him.
No, Max Dupree.
Max pre-LA. That's why I am so bored of it already. It's like he's hinting at flipping these guys, and it's going to be Humberto and Angel, that's who it's going to be.
Well, is one of them not Mace?
Yeah, I was gonna say on the house.
Oh yeah, they announced, he's going to be Mason. I forgot the spoilers, weren't they? Mason, someone else was going to be in it. I completely forgot they existed. It's been that long.
Mason Mansour.
Exciting times.
Is that who it actually is?
I think so.
That's dreadful.
Well, I'm glad. I'm looking forward to this. We had Ludwig and Gunther hyping up the title, saying that Ricochet besmirched the title, which is a great line. Yeah, so hopefully Ricochet wins it back, because I'm looking forward to that, because we've got a big fan in the Honor Club of Ricochet. I want her to live her dreams. Inside jokes are brilliant, aren't they? But yeah, this was followed by the main event, which was actually pretty decent. The show was pants, but the main event at least was good. Riddle versus Reigns. So it started off with a Riddle jump start. He hit a floating bro into the outside, which they just called like a general senton. They didn't even notice it was a floating bro. Roman got in control and hit a drive-by. Then it started becoming quite back and forth after that. Riddle hit another floating blow, which got a near fall. Then Roman hit a massive Uranagi. But McAfee actually linked it to the rock bottom, which is nice, like hint, because obviously the heritage and stuff like that. Then he hit the Orton back suplex on the announce desk. Then Riddle came back, did some cosplay Orton, back suplexed himself, not himself, Blackpool suplexed Reigns onto the thing as well. He hit the Orton DDT, but then this was stopped with the Superman punch for the near fall. Then he hit a RKO for a near fall after that. And then Riddle, what happened was, I can't remember what led up to this, but it led to the spear, but Riddle stood up too quickly. So Roman Reigns was in the middle of his taunt, and Riddle was just standing there looking at him, and then trying to act like the droggy thing out of nowhere that you see on wrestling games. And he's just got, I better be droggy. And then another floating bro, because we need them. And then Roman caught with a spear catch, basically, and picked up the win. I rate that 3.5. It was a very good match.
It was good. Commentators made a big deal of it being a coming out party for Riddle. We'll see how that plays out on Raw.
Yeah. Spoilers. And then, followed after that, Reigns gets on the mic. Reigns wants us to acknowledge him. And then Lesnar. That's what happens. Let's throw Lesnar. So
Brock Lesnar, by the way.
Roman Reigns does the obvious thing that everyone does. If Lesnar offers you a hand, you shake it, because he never does anything bad straight after a handshake. So he hit him with the F5, then he hit every other man with the F5. Brock smash. SmackDown ends. Last man standing match at SummerSlam.
Just what we wanted.
Don't know what else you could want.
Anything but.
Yeah, that's the end of SmackDown.
What, forever?
Yep. I've decided to
Give me a good time.
But yeah, we should probably move on to Rampage.
Yeah. So it was a decent show. Kicked straight into Mox against Dante Martin. Obviously the tough veteran for the flippy rookie is the story of the match. It was weird at times seeing Dante Martin fire up with leg kicks that looked quite weak. He's not a striker. His aerial combat is impressive, but he's not a striker. And didn't look very good in the segments where Fox was trying to get him fired up. But it was decent overall. What was annoying me though is there was a lot of back and forth bickering between Jericho, who was on commentary for the whole show, and Regal and Taz, to the point I was getting more distracted by what they were saying than I was following the match itself. Which Jericho doesn't surprise me, but I'm surprised Regal fell in that trap. But it was a decent match, as I say, overall. Finished with a paradigm shift from Mox. I'd give that 3.5 stars, so Dave will probably give it 4.
Yeah.
Because he's Meltzer.
Yeah.
Obviously, you watched Rampage as well, DP. What did you think of the match?
Yeah, I did. So I might get a bit of heat for this, but I'm not a huge fan of Moxley in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this match actually helped me see not a different side to him, but what he can do as someone who can do a different style as well. And it really did sort of show what he's capable of doing outside of the usual grapple strike.
Yeah. I always find with Moxley, he is a bit like Marmite.
Yeah. What I found, as I say, was he can't help the fact that when he was trying to give Dante chances to throw off and strike back, Dante wasn't really effective in offense with it. I don't know if you agree with that assessment, DP.
Yeah,
especially the leg kick section, he was barely making contact with him.
I mean, that's most Dynamite matches, really.
Oh.
Muzzy will be spinning.
So, first commercial break from there. They come back. There's a package, basically a back and forth pre-recorded promo from Death Triangle and House of Black. Speaking in Spanish where her band is translating. But the line of the whole section for me was Pat calling Alistair Black a strange gangly creep.
What the hell? I haven't even seen it, and that's actually funny.
They can't beat the old UK.
No.
So for anyone outside of the UK, or even outside of Newcastle, it's only because we've got Geordie fans. Calling someone gangly means they're kind of lanky, tall, and long-limbed. Not very well coordinated, which I wouldn't say for House of Black on the coordination side, but still funny. Then we have the Gun Club versus Max Caster against Leon Ruff and Bear Country. Rare Leon Ruff signing. I don't know if he's signed with AEW or whether this was just a one-off appearance. I think he's been on Dark and Dark Elevation a few times.
He has, yeah.
But he looks absolutely tiny next to Bear Country. Right. It was a weird situation, and I was surprised that Gun Club won so quickly. But of course, Caster making the references to Vince in his rap that we all saw coming. As I say, it was over in like a minute and a half. Rate, you're the cage match guy. Were you able to confirm match time on that?
Probably. Let me have a gun that.
Tell you what that rap did do. It brought some great banter in the Honor Club chat.
I think didn't they have to
Oh god, yeah, I forgot about that.
refilm it or something? That rap because I think he specifically mentioned Vinnie Mac in the original rap.
1 minute 50.
Yeah,
1 minute 50.
Aye, so less than 2 minutes. So I didn't rate it. I didn't see enough of it.
Did you say he re-recorded his rap? Is that what you just said?
Or it was edited down.
Wow.
Of course, I'm sure, after the whole Simone Biles thing,
Yeah.
that all these raps had to go through Tony Khan. So the fact that it was allowed on and then they refilmed it
Yeah.
tells me that that was all. That was just him feeding a line to the Dutch sheets so it wouldn't happen again.
Yeah.
But then it goes to a Hookhausen promo. They're talking about Hook facing a up and comer from New Japan next week. And I think it's probably just one of the young lions. From the way they're saying a young up and comer.
Can't wait for Okada to turn up.
I can inform you who it is now. Because I think they're re-record it on.
Yeah, we'll delve into spoilers. So,
It was announced on Dynamite, if that helps.
Oh, is
At
it?
the end of Dynamite.
Right, I feel
Yeah, do you know when they Excalibur nearly DKC.
Right.
He's a young lion, for strong.
No worries. So, next up was the Willow versus Jade match. Willow's really over with the crowd. There's very few naturally likable baby faces out there just now. Like, I didn't know much about Willow, as you know, when we first started doing this show. But the more I've seen her on Dynamite, the more I'm liking her. She's different from everybody else. She's got a fun energy to her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it was
very, very bubbly.
Mm-hmm. It was a decent match, so I don't know if they'd cut out a botch or something because it did that weird, like in the middle of a move, cut to commercial thing. Like there wasn't even a we'll see you in picture or here's a word from our sponsors. It was literally Excalibur was in the middle of calling a move. He was mid sentence when it went to commercial. Which usually is an indication that they've cut about a bit out of a match.
Yeah.
Either for time or for
a botch.
Yeah. If it's for time, then why have the squash match on there? Save that for your dark and your dark elevation. Not like you we're building the gun club. But yeah, it was a decent match. At one point, Jade even hits pedigree, or as they called it by the technical wrestling move, the double underhook facebuster. But yeah, it was a decent match. I gave it another 2.5 stars. Jade is definitely getting there and working with someone who knows what they're doing. She gets better matches. But I think having interference when you're supposed to be this big dominant champ takes the luster off her a little bit. You know what your thoughts on that are, DP?
Yeah, I've been on this entire time. You can't see because I got a camera, but yeah, it's. I think with Jade, it's a weird little scenario because you've got this woman who is of great stature, and to have her essentially go on the first few months as a sort of undefeated Goliath for a woman. And I think eventually you've got to start building her down anyway, and I think this is a good way of doing it. Is just slowly building her down, and of course, I don't know who could take it, but I would assume Chris, but
Either Chris or Athena.
Mhm.
Speaking of Athena, so there's a beatdown post match on for Willow. But Athena comes down from the save and hits the Eclipse on Kiera Hogan. Now, AEW aren't calling it the Eclipse. They're calling it the O-Face. Or at least that's what Excalibur called it. For anyone unfamiliar, which I don't think it's going to be many of our listeners, maybe one or two, but anyone that's unfamiliar with what an O-Face is, it is the face you make at the point of climax. So why they thought that was a good name for it?
But it was the climax of the match.
I was about to say that,
But yeah, so that's a move right up there with cervical clutch. I can imagine if they're in the same moveset.
Oh, jeez.
The cervical clutch into the O face.
Oh, we've been cancelled.
But and Chris Statlander rushes down to help even the odds after they start beating down Athena. I don't know if you guys watch The Office, but she does the Creed strike, scream, and run. And the back is still quite Hathaway. Right, nice. Essentially just runs down like in the back of his head and rushing into the ring. Right, I was absolutely buckled. So after that goes to another commercial, and then when we come back, it's more from Jay Lethal, Satnam, and Sanjay Dutt. Basically doing the Where's Joe? He's got like till Rampage this week to turn up for of the title because it is the ROH television title. All that was kind of implied around the month, but the commentators, and as far as I'm aware, nobody officially said that the television title needs to be defended within 30 days. I've not made that clear to the audience anyway, so although the hardcore fans are aware of that stipulation, there'll be many regular AEW fans that didn't watch Ring of Honor will be going, why is he in a rush to get back? But yeah, that's followed up with Bobby Fish and Darby, which is the main event. Now, during the whole Mark Henry introduction and back and forth promo, Darby says to Bobby he's going to take him out, and Bobby says, "Where are we going? Are we going to Outback Steak?" So Bobby wants a date with Darby. It's a very good match though. Bobby just looks like a killer throughout. Comes to a head when he's got him in a heel hook, and Darby somehow squishes him round in order to get him in the Last Supper and gets the win. But of course, Red Dragon are gonna be Red Dragon and beat him down after the bell, which brings back a returning Sting to give Kyle O'Reilly some swollen testicles. Blowing him with the bat, and then rushing down to help set up the culmination of Bobby Fish's leg from a coffin drop. And that was the show. So Sting is back.
He's only been gone like 3 weeks, hasn't he?
Yeah, the clip they showed was from 18 to May, so he recovered from a quote-unquote broken ankle at nearly 60 years old within 5 weeks.
I'm assuming that even though Tony Schiavone isn't on Rampage at all, they still piped in him going, "It's Sting!"
Excalibur did it. But as far as the match itself, I forgot to give it a rating. I would say it was about a 3.5. Again, Meltzer would give that a 4. But you have to temper for short time.
Yeah. What did DP give it?
I didn't rate it, but based off the recollection I have of it, I agree with RGX really. Like 3.25, 3.5, something like that. It was a fine blend of Darby wanting to break Fish's ankle, with Fish using his technical prowess to catch him in hooks and holds, and to weaken him down. It was honestly, if anyone said that Fish is a tag guy, you can go screw yourself, because this match is a prime example of why he's not just a tag guy.
Fish is as much a tag guy for me than now as Dax Harwood is. But there is no Marty Jannetty in that team, put it that way.
Yeah.
They're both killers. But yeah, that's your Rampage. So from that, let's head into Raw, right?
Yep, 9 hours of Raw. Oh, God, there's more notes than is worth reading here. So, yeah, we started with Bianca's segment. They hinted at the Rhea injury. That still hasn't come out. What's up with Rhea, has it?
It has. I was going to cover it in the news next week, but we can mention it here since we talked about it on TV. It came from a spot where she basically kneed herself in the face.
Oh, that was on Botchamania.
Yeah. Well, they edited it out and put it back up because Matthew initially put it up going, "Oh, that was sore," until he saw like the reports come out and Rhea herself and pictures of her teeth. So he
felt bad.
Yeah, it genuinely, it's like his pinned comment. He had it in there and he took it out and re-uploaded.
Well, I always saw it when it was originally on there.
But yeah, it was quite rough. So I understand fully why she's out. However, I will say in it, and although the circumstances are a bit weird behind it, didn't I say when they kicked Edge out that watch this, they'll fall down the card, there'll be Retribution 2.0. It's already begun with her being pulled out of that main event, and Priest and Balor like wrestling on main event.
Yeah, they didn't even feature him, Raw, did they?
No.
It might be just until she's injured, though. Well, they might just not feature him. But yeah, Rhea injured. So this was leading to a 5-way that Bianca was discussing. So obviously this led to the typical, if you mention there's going to be 5 people, they all have to have separate entrances cutting each other off. So it started with Bex. She's the only contender according to her, and she's been abused. That was her exact wording. Been abused. So that obviously led to Asuka coming out, doing her crying. A really, really sarcastic crying. Big time. What is it now? Cry Baby Bex? Big Cry Bex? What's the line?
Hi, Baby Bex.
Yeah. Big time Cry Baby? But either way, yeah. So that was the line after that. And then this was followed with Liv saying she's always ready. Liz. Kind of stole. Liz, good old Liz. Carmella came down straight after that. And then she basically was taking the piss out of Liv, saying that everyone else is a former champion, what are you? And then she did a cool thing which I found funny. If everyone put their hands up if we should kick Liv out of the match, and Bex would put her hands up. So I found that funny. This was followed by Alexa and then Kamala. I keep saying Kamala, I can't get away from it. Carmella, just ripping the piss out of Carmella, saying she can't do it alone. She had that guy with the chin helper.
Looking at the women in this match, it was quite clear who was going to win. 2 of them are in Money in the Bank already. 2 of them are feuding and having their own thing going on. So it was clear who the winner of this was going to be.
I don't know. Liv said that she'd lose her Money in the Bank opportunity to face the champion. She covered that base. But yeah, so this followed up. Obviously, the match came after the break. So you had Asuka versus Becky versus Alexa versus Carmella versus Liv, and yeah, so it was pretty much everyone has their moment match. So one person has a move, then they roll out. The other person comes in to do the move to them. Liv Morgan and Carmella did. Liv Morgan hit like a really cool move on Carmella. I can't even describe what the name would be. It was like she leant back, had her foot against her, and pushed her into the turnbuckle. It was like a catapult, technically, with her foot. Then it just became more 1 in 1 out. Carmella nearly pinned both Becky and Liv Morgan after the Hurricane Rana that she hit. Becky started clearing house after this. Alexa Bliss ended up hitting the Twisted Bliss on both Becky and Asuka, which ended in a near fall. Then Becky and Amanda Handle slammed for a near fall, and then out of nowhere, Carmella just super kicked Liv Morgan's face off and picked up the win. I've rated this 2 3/4. It was decent. I just don't like the 1 in 1 out aspect.
Yeah, what I'll say as well is it feels like no offense to Carmella here, but this feels like a huge step down in competition.
Yeah, it's just trouble though, isn't it? It's the injury.
It makes it a cast iron top lock.
I would much rather watch the triple threat match again than watch this.
Yeah. But she's money. I bet they bring James Ellsworth back just for this match.
Please no.
I'm telling you.
Was there not awful stuff came out about him?
There's awful stuff about everyone. It doesn't matter.
I still does.
Remember, then now forever together.
Yeah. Vinnie Mac's got awful stuff and he's coming out every night. Oh, that would have been the perfect time to segue, but it's halfway down the card, that is. So yeah, this followed by a Becky segment out back. She's saying she's been robbed again, and then she was a line that made me laugh because I think you mentioned on the podcast. I'm on the bloody poster. Like she hasn't got a match. So then Pierce said it's going to be Asuka versus Becky Lynch for the Money in the Bank qualification match, and it's going to happen tonight. And then Becky was annoyed because she's had a match tonight already. Asuka was also in this match, but we're going to get that.
What is going on?
Well, it doesn't make sense because if you look at the official Raw preview,
It was
Lynch
advertised.
versus Asuka was advertised.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
So then, segueing into the best part of the show, Vinnie Mac. He came down.
And he got
He went.
again.
Yeah, he went full Tony Schiavone as well. Last week, Tony Schiavone mentioned the most random episode going. It was like the something and 10th episode. Vinnie Mac went into 1,517th episode. Excellent. That's great news. And so I just wrote here, is that you, Tony? And then he just discussed the Cena return, and he announces that Cena's going to be in next week, like it hasn't been announced already. And then he just disappears.
Did you see the picture of him basically hopping down the stairs?
The skipping.
I've seen so many pictures of him like jumping into a pool.
Yeah. But the one I saw was the steps, the top step. It was have a extramarital relationship, pay that woman off not to speak, get invented by the boardroom, and this step they skipped is the question mark. The bottom is profit.
Oh, it's funny because it's sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving on that, we had the Riddle segment. Riddle was hashing the same old at Orton spiel, which I'm getting slightly bored of already now.
Yeah, that was
and then he started going on, can he qualify for the Money in the Bank? Then he said he's going to smash Seth Rollins with a ladder. Then MVP came down, made a few jokes. Can't remember the jokes, they were just there.
He's gonna be high when he.
Oh yeah, 420 jokes, weren't it? Yeah, he's been speaking Smoot Dog. So Omos versus Riddle, and I wrote this in the chat afterwards. I can't believe what I've just seen. So yeah, Omos hit a sidewalk slam, which was pretty cool. He was absolutely battering Riddle. Riddle hit a jump knee, which rocked Omos. Then he hit the floating bro, which rocked Omos, which was pretty cool as well. That he just rocked him, he didn't knock him down. And then Omos smash. I couldn't believe it. Omos picked up the win. It wasn't terrible. It was terrible in the essence, but it wasn't like a terrible Omos match. I rated it 1.5. It was terrible in what happened.
So he had a far less competitive match with Omos than he did with Roman. Therefore, Omos greater than Roman is the insinuation.
Also, Omos, Money in the Bank champ. He's going to get it. He's just going to walk in and reach it. He's just going to reach it and walk off. That'll be the whole match.
But I hope not.
So yeah, Omos smashed right afterwards. Then Seth comes down to attack Riddle. He calls Riddle a loser. Then he's basically hinting that he's got Roman Reigns' number. Because they were in the Shield together, so they should have each other's numbers. Don't know why.
They've known each other a long time.
Yeah, and then Riddle attacked Seth, and then I blinked, and then he was in the curb stomp. I don't know how he got away. It just happened. But yeah, so that's the end of Riddle. He had a good run while he lasted.
This is DP's favourite bit now, isn't it?
Yep, the pose down we're going to discuss now. So I'll let you discuss this if you want. You can review this segment if you want, DP.
I'm good. Honestly, I'll let RGX do it.
So we get more theory. Now, initially, it's not holding any baby oil. There's no podium or anything set up in the ring, so I think, right, okay. Especially as DP, and I was saying on to try and get Raw watched in time for recording tonight. I said, oh, it can't be as bad as last week. DP puts in the chat, at least there's not a pose down. Oh, liar.
I was technically right.
It wasn't a competitive pose down, but it was still a pose down. So sadly, the reports from Fightful were indeed correct. That it's pretty much now his gimmick that he cuts about with baby oil and poses, which is like Vince's dream gimmick he pulls out every 10 years or so.
Yep.
Been doing it ever since The Narcissist. The Lex Luger back in the early 90s. So another hint that Vince is still very much in charge of creative.
Yep.
Bobby comes out. Can't remember if Bobby says anything. I think he just stands there menacingly. Kicks him, takes it, lifts the title, poses with it for a bit. Pretends to give it back to him, poses with it again. And then it goes to commercial. You think that Bobby still got it, but then comes back from commercial. Irish interviewer is there asking him, and miraculously he's got his title back. So.
I did like that as well, when he's asking about the title, and then like he gets his, and then Theory goes, "Where do you people come from?" Just like.
Thing is, like, he's quite a tall guy as well, so you always see memes of him kind of scuttling in like a crab. But
yeah, I wrote about that Theory thing. It's because he was taking a selfie, weren't he? He was taking a selfie, and then Lashley appeared. I just went, "Old Lashley appears." He's in the background.
That's actually
So,
yeah, as I say, I don't think he said it. So he just appeared menacingly.
And then the theory bit from that was that the only way Lashley's going to get a title opportunity if he wins a gauntlet match later on. So we'll get that at some point.
Yeah.
So we had an Uso segment straight after that, which we're hyping the tag team championships. Then Street Profits came down, and Ford awkwardly was saying stuff. Like, it just felt really awkward. I don't even know what he was doing. And then, yeah, we want the smoke, blah, blah. That's what I just want this over with already. So this was followed by Dawkins versus Jay. That was quite back and forth. Jay hit a backdrop cutter, which was pretty cool. Then Angelo Dawkins has got a move called the Silence. I don't even know what that is, but he hit a near fall. Corey Graves called it the Silence, but I can't even picture what it is. Jay hit a super kick.
Is that his spinebuster thing?
I think it was like something high, that is, though, I think.
It was a low sort of, yeah.
Yeah. But then, yeah, that was followed by Jay hitting a super kick for a near fall. And then Jay got to the top rope. And then awkwardly, Dawkins is already standing there. And it was like, why? And then he caught him in his finish. Why is he standing? Why has Jey Uso decided still to jump on him? I don't understand what was going on. So yeah, Dawkins won with the Sky High. I rated 2 stars because it was just pants.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So yeah, Alois. Yeah, carry on.
So as I was saying earlier about there being no Mighty Jannetty in Red Dragon. There's definitely Mighty Jannetty in the Profits.
And that's Montez Ford. they're both Marty Jannetty in my eyes. They're both bad in some way. Montez Ford's got athleticism, but like he's got the charisma of a. Oh no, I'm not going to discuss it right now. Let's move on. So yeah, we had Elias and Ezekiel chatting backstage. Yeah, it was just weird. They were just having like a brotherly chat. I don't know how to describe it.
They did a great job with the beard prosthetics. Like you can tell it's fake because of how clean, like the top of his beard was to the rest of the cheek. You could tell it was fake, but the actual main part of the beard was actually pretty well done. So they must have got a proper professional in to do that.
This is where we find out it actually was two different people, and we've been munned all along.
They've got the same scar on the cheek next to their mouth.
He did it for the art. So yeah, this followed up with Elias actually being in the ring. We're going to walk with Elias right now. Then Owens comes down just as it's happening, and basically Elias was saying, "Well, you've got to believe us now." And then Owens went, "I saw a T-Rex fly a copter in a movie recently." So then Ezekiel was on the Tron. And then it was like, Cole, it must be real now because there's a guy on the Tron. I read what Owens said later on. It's clearly on the... and then Owens threw the guitar because he was really annoyed by this. Then he got hit by a guitar. And then this followed up with him going out back and saying, like, I can explain this. It was obviously pre-recorded, like, you know. And I don't care who I'm going to fight next week. I don't care if it's Ezekiel. I don't care if it's Elias. I don't care if it's Elron. I'm going to fight them.
Elron. Yeah.
And then they've actually got the graphic as well. Now you got Ezekiel Elrod. So I'm hoping it's going to be Elrod. Because it'd be hilarious. So yeah, this followed by the Gauntlet match. So it started off with Lashley versus Gabriel. This was proper wrestling. They actually did some wrestling. Lashley at a stalling suplex, which is always cool to see. Gabriel got him in an ankle lock. Then he hit a moonsault for a near fall. And then he got in the hurt lock, which then got Otis to rush in and beat the crap out of Lashley. Then he started beating him down outside. Obviously, by the way, Gable lost because of the DQ. So this led to Otis having a matchup with him, beating down Lashley. He missed the Vader bomb. Then he was hinting it was going to hit him with the hurt lock, but he's too big to get in the hurt lock, which genuinely is massive to get in the hurt lock. Then he hit a spear, and this led to a beatdown with Gable. And then this led to Theory coming down. So obviously Theory was the last person in the gauntlet. And they had Theory beating down Lashley for a bit. Then he tried to hit the A-Town down, but Lashley actually hit a pretty good reversal. Like a really good reversal clutch, which I was surprised by. And picked up to win. Right at 2.5. It was fine.
Yeah, I reckon you would have put anyone other than Otis in that middle bit. It would have probably been a 3.5.
Yeah.
But Otis really dragged it down for me.
Yeah, it should have started maybe with Otis. Like to build to like Otis beating him down and then Chad Gable picking up the scraps and losing and then Theory.
Yeah.
Either way, yeah, it led to Lashley getting the title match at Money in the Bank. This was followed by a Bianca segment. She's not going to underestimate Carmella. Carmella actually just beat the crap out of her. You knew it was going to happen instantly as well. But Mella's money.
What do they see?
Moving on.
Are we excited?
No.
Are you excited, DP?
He's gone to sleep.
DP, are you excited?
Exactly.
DP?
Right, you're hardly one to call anyone out on that.
It's fine. We've got like a pecking order that like Smooth takes the nick out of me, but then I'll do it to a DP. That's the pecking order.
It's fine. I'm at the bottom. It's fine.
It is, and you're always going to be there. Moving on. So, Yabby Miss TV. I was looking forward to another Miss TV. I might as well just have through happy flipping talking here as well. Stupid chat shows. Unless it's Owens' chat through, they need to ban them all. And Ding Dong needs to come back with Bailey because I miss Bailey. So yeah, he had Styles on. Then there was a weird thing where, like, I can't remember the spiel, but Miz was going through everything, and then he mentioned Omos, but then he had to, Omos is a giant, but then he had to repeat himself because he didn't mention that he's a Nigerian giant. I don't know why you have to confirm he's Nigerian. I don't know why he had to go back to that. He went, oh, and Omos, the big giant, the Nigerian giant.
While we're talking Nigerian, we mentioned Botchamania earlier, and one of the bits they're talking about Apollo Crews. For some reason in the video, they made the joke, what happened to your Ugandan accent instead of Nigerian. Yeah. I don't know if you noticed that when you were watching, right?
Yeah, no, they do all the time, don't they? It's because they linked it with the Botchamania thing, was the Kofi Kingston thing, weren't it?
Yeah.
Like Kofi Kingston lost his Jamaican accent. But yeah, it just, they mentioned he was Nigerian for no reason. They had to mention it. Like, he went, yeah.
So I think there might be some sort of, I don't know, some sort of quota they've got to meet. So because Apollo is no longer Nigerian, they've got to fit it in somewhere else.
Nigerian. Because, you know, the rich prince needs the money. Is that what we're saying?
Me had an email yesterday.
I was wondering why you were going full blinged up now. But yeah, this was Miz was basically saying stuff about Styles, that he's a loser. Miz is a walking loss, by the way. Miz loses so many matches. He's like Adam Cole of WWE, trying to big up his big run, but he loses all the time.
Like, I don't understand about Miz TV.
Yeah. And then they did the tiny balls thing just to get that in there. And then Styles just full on blasted the Miz, which just was the highlight of the whole segment. This led to Champa versus Styles. It's nice to see Champa on the show, but like, this match should have been a lot better than it was, but they haven't had the time, and it depresses me that this is their first meeting.
Is Champa one on the main roster yet?
No.
He beat Ali, didn't he? Did he beat Ali? In like a quick match?
Probably by DQ.
I can't be asked to research it. He's not even worth my hassle. Yeah, so Ciampa hit like a knee strike on Styles, which looked pretty cool. He was wearing down Styles for most of the match. Then he hit a ripcord elbow. And then out of nowhere, phenomenal forearm, 2.25. That's the description of a match between Ciampa and Styles.
It's madness, in it? Absolute madness.
I can't.
Shayna Baszler. Ciampa's another example of that rise and fall.
Yep.
Yeah, there's so many. It's just sad. The only one that's doing well at the moment slightly is Butch, and that's still his name's Butch.
Was he even on SmackDown this week?
No, he wasn't.
He's not doing well at all.
He's doing alright. He's that Conchella or whatever they're saying at the moment. Where's Butch? So yeah, Styles hit a Pele click after that, and then a Styles clash on the Miz. So the Miz is going to have a roll over him now. I can't wait. Then we had a Veer segment. This is the beginning. I love Carnage. I can't stop. Veer. There you go.
Yeah.
Was that you?
It's just saying, like,
Number one.
I said this in chat earlier. It's like the words he was saying is kind of butchered English. English with like no discernible accent.
Yeah.
So the words that like English that he was speaking is like pronounced perfectly. It's so weird. Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah.
Talking.
He needs a mouthpiece.
Right, come on, let's go. Let's get this out of the way.
I'm Max Dupree.
Yeah, and then we had Oscar.
Max Dupree.
You're saying roll this on, but you had to say Max Dupree before we carried on. Oscar versus Lynch. So this was always going to be the match of the night. Oscar hit an armbar straight away. Then there was pretty much a back and forth. Then she hit a code breaker for a near fall. Then he had the good old strike battle. Oscar got a roll up for a near fall then, so it was quite desperation. Oscar was full on blasting her at this point. She hit the hip attack for a near fall after that. She got the Oscar lock on Becky, which she then reversed into... Oh no, Becky Lynch got Oscar into the Oscar lock. That's what threw me in the flipping notes there. But then Oscar reversed it into the ankle lock. Then she got the Oscar lock in the ropes as well. She hit a top rope drop kick. Literally, Oscar was in control for the majority of this match. Then Becky Lynch hit an apron leg drop to kind of sway the tide for a bit. There was a 10 count near fall on Oscar. Both started going for their finishes, so it quite desperation. And then just out of nowhere, a massive head kick from Oscar, and she picked up the win. I was surprised that was the finish. Just kicked her head in.
Yeah, it's supposed to be that knockout power that she's got in her kicks.
Yeah, so it was good. I rate the 3 stars. It's good for Raw. Becky's hit rock bottom. The only way's up.
Believe me, with the way I've been in FPL lately, I can relate, Becky. Relate. Yeah, it wasn't as bad as last week. It wasn't. It wasn't a marked improvement.
I had a good time last week not watching Raw. Anyway, we'll move on to Dynamite, which was still probably the best show of the week. It was still pretty much a let's throw everything to the fan because Forbidden Door's happening. But it's still a good show. So it started with Danielson's segment. He was basically hyping future shows, Blood and Guts, Forbidden Door. He was hyping that he's going to be fighting Zack Sabre Jr., but obviously he's injured, so that's not going to happen. Then he called him a judgmental prick, which was always fun. And did we notice he came out the bad guy tunnel? So he's going to pick a mystery opponent. So there's going to be a mystery opponent.
If it's not Cesaro, it's going to be a massive...
Yeah, I'm still thinking it's Gresham.
I don't think Gresham suits Blood and Guts.
It was someone who's going to join the Combat Club.
Who's in Blood and Guts, though? Like, who's actually in their team so far? It's Wheeler Yuta. It's Sanatana, Ortiz, Kingston, and Moxley. So I think their team is full, isn't it?
No, it's 6-on-6.
Okay.
Like, someone's got to replace Brian, though, haven't they?
Yeah.
So, I've heard people say Joe.
No.
It's going to be someone's joining BCC, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
No.
Yeah, because they have to be someone who can sub in, is technically gifted on Danielson's level, and be in Blood and Guts. Same person. Cesaro
It's going to be
is
Zack
the
Sabre
only
Jr.
one that's believable for Zack Sabre Jr.'s wrestling himself. I mean, he probably could.
And he'd put on the best match of the year.
Yeah, Cesaro is the only one that fits that bill for me, and if it's not Cesaro, it's a disappointment.
What's going to make me sad is that Zack Sabre Jr. is going to lose.
Yeah.
And Zack Sabre Jr. is brilliant, and it shouldn't lose.
Especially because it's someone who's going to be debuting, but that's the insinuation.
And the whole point is, if he loses, it's going to lessen the eventual match with Danielson.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, we'll move on. So there's a Moxley segment where he does his weird flipping shoulder jerking as he's speaking. It's personal. People need to survive when you're fighting me. This is the biggest match of his career. Then he said something about transforming when he's in the ring or something. Transform, and I've just written here, transforms into Optimus Prime. I don't even know why I said
it's
this.
because he transforms from having respect for most people, having respect for no one in the ring.
So transforms into Optimus Prime. My statement stands. So this led to the first match of the night, which was Cassidy and Roppongi Vice versus United Empire, which was Aussie Open and Ospreay. Bryce Rensburg is a crap ref, by the way. I need to get this out here now. Like, there's a spot in the match where Mark Davis hits a blind tag, but Bryce Rensburg's looking at the other corner speaking to the other people. So he hit a blind tag and has got in the ring and the ref's done nothing. Like, it's a blind tag for a start, so he hasn't even heard tag, and he just looked at it and went, oh yeah, that's... So yeah, there was German suplexes from Trent Barretta. They did a clothesline spot, which Roppongi Vice do quite a lot, which it didn't last as long as what they normally do. So Roppongi Vice, he does the clothesline, but he does that clothesline where he keeps running back like 20 times. But then Orange Cassidy hit his weak clothesline. The Orange kicks on Aussie Open. Then he hit a double TDT. And then it just started into absolute chaos. The referee was buried at this point. Everyone was in at every point. There was no tagging. No one cared. Orange Cassidy a stun dog. Aussie Open, it got a near fall with one of their cool finishes they do. Mark Davis's pop-up pole driver, I'm glad he actually hit it. I was surprised he would hit it on AEW, but I love that pop-up pole driver. Like where he picks them up from like a Walter Jericho position. Then it ended with everyone getting thrown out, and then Cassidy hitting the orange punch on Fletcher to pick up the win. It was a good opener. I rated 3 stars.
Yeah, it was alright. I'm the only one that thinks that Fletcher looks like he's doing Lord Beerus cosplay when he comes out to the ring. The weird cape and collar thing.
I've also forgot to mention the ratings from last week for Meltzer. What do you think Jericho and Ortiz was?
3.5.
3.
4. What do you think? I think Ospreay versus Dax.
4.5.
4 3/4.
4 3/4.
DP and RGX get it. And then what was the main event? Oh, Young Bucks versus Jungle Boy Express. 4 3/4.
It was the most rushed ladder match I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Oh, that's high enough. That's like good enough for Dave Meltzer. So.
Yeah, he had enough time to jerk off. That's all that matters. Anyway, we had a UE and FTR and Chaos stare down. So yeah, that's just another will build towards Forbidden Door. Then we had the Lethal Crew backstage. Joe needs to get back to work. Otherwise he's going to vacate the title. Then we had a Christian segment. He was proper healing up the fans at the start, like telling them to shut up, etc. like that. He deserves respect.
Because he was wearing a turtleneck.
And he came out the bad guy tunnel. Remember the bad guy tunnel? He deserves respect. He's going to rip Tony's earring off. I really wanted that to happen. He's here to make money. He's basically hinting, he was going like, Jungle Boy, you need to be good at me. They named matches after me, like, which was the table, ladders and chairs match. Then they were showing like his mom's sweet on Cage. Like, he was just throwing all the hits out, Christian, at this point.
I'll quote because it was an incredible line. Saying that I went over there to try and get an apology from her for you being born. But she wasn't willing to do that because, you know what, I think she's sweet on Christian Cage.
Yeah.
You wanted me to be your daddy, but you already have a father. But your father's dead.
Yeah, she kind of like, that just brought the mood down, and it was like, yeah. I thought he was going to mention it, but I thought he'd mention it slowly. No, your father's dead. Yep. So then Luchasaurus comes down, choking the life out of Christian, and he's an actual weasel at this point, Christian. He's like, you're a son to me, Lucha.
You're like a son to me, got me. I was like, it's the perfect.
We're gonna speak to him outside, and then Lucha's leaving, and you can see Christian smiling. And have you seen the new shirt?
It got. I need to mention as well the way it got Luchasaurus on side and started turning him.
Yeah,
was remember what happened to Marco Stunt, implying it was Jungle Boy who got him.
Yeah,
kicked out. Which it obviously wasn't, even in storyline. It would have been Christian. But that's another little wrinkle that I think Christian's been working on.
But
To this.
And AEW have released a shirt. Do you know Christian's shirt, Outwork Everyone? They've changed the shirt just to say Worked Everyone, which is pretty cool as well. So yeah, this led to a Young Bucks segment with Kyle O'Reilly. They're the 2-time champs. Sting needs to be locked up. Young Bucks are going to be in the Bullet Club for one night only again, which is, I enjoy that, I'll be honest. They fit in where they belong. This was followed by Black versus good old Pentagon, Oscaro, Mendio, Sierra Meadow, some other thing. So this started with a good old Penta needs to throw a dive in. He hit a rolling cutter, which was pretty nice. Then Alistair hit a double foot stomp for a near fall. Then he hit a top rope Fear Factor out of nowhere for a near fall, which was stupid. Like, I'm just going to throw that out there, that like somehow Alistair Black got his leg to the rope. That's a top rope Fear Factor. Like, and then, yeah, Alistair Black hit the Black Mass to pick up the win. It was still a good match. I just don't like that the Fear Factor was from the top rope and didn't get a win.
Yeah. Right.
It was just like we knew who was going to win going in.
Yeah. So yeah, right at 2 3/4. This led to Pac coming out, a mixed Miro and Pac together, and we had Miro on the screen, basically waffling on a journey to meet you. I'm gonna make you meet your maker, and when you get there, say Miro said this. Then he does the what to it, so he's the sheep now. And then yeah, so that's building to either Miro's definitely winning that match, I know.
God, I hope so.
Yeah.
I had the biggest man crush on Miro. But
I think either him or Ishii, personally.
I don't think Ishii's going to win it. I can't see it.
Ishii's not even from an Atlantic country, he's from the Pacific. It's the all Atlantic title, so if you won it, he shouldn't be eligible because he's from a country that's in the Pacific.
Just throwing it out there, Smooth Rock's not from Canada. I'm going to say it that way. The paperweight. So it was Silas Young versus Hangman Page. It was nice to see Silas Young. I'm a big fan of his. This was full on wrestling to start, which was nice as well. He hit a lariat on the outside, and then Adam Page does that long moonsault where he has to get to the top rope, and the guy's just standing there, which I don't enjoy them. Then Silas hit like a really sick looking net breaker off the where he hung him on the rope. You got that for a near fall. Page hit a top rope suplex, then he had to get another dive in because Page got a dive. Then he hit a German suplex and he got a buckshot lariat for the win. I read at 2 3/4 as well. That was another decent enough match. This led to Cole coming out, and it's going to be story time with Adam Cole, and then Jay White comes out. Unfortunately, White has said it can't be Cole because he lost to Page twice, and that made me happy. That someone's initiated that. Cole's lost to Page twice, and he has no way of saying this. So Page was laughing in the ring, but he also said it can't be Page. So then this started all off a brawl. Cole was hinting to hit White with a bout. Then he low blows Page, and then
money drop.
Yeah, money drop out of nowhere, and this guy called Okada comes down to the ring. If anyone's heard of him,
and a t-shirt and jeans, with no bill, no hype video, and a go home show very last minute.
It's because they think everyone knows who Okada is. I was discussing this with my brother. Like, my brother was going, like, if you don't watch New Japan, and you're just like a casual fan, that's just a Japanese guy. That's,
100%. Yeah. And like a guy like Okada should have had like build packages for weeks.
Yep.
There should have been cash running down the screen and everything. It should have been like,
and there should have been like highlights of all his Wrestle Kingdom main events. Like really hyping the fact that he's like the biggest star. Like, see when Forbidden Door was announced?
Yeah.
It should have been featuring Kazuchika
Okada, yeah.
Not he randomly turns up in the middle of a segment he wasn't involved in, even mentioned on the Go Home show, in the middle of the show, not even main event.
It's the trouble though. This event is, if you're not a casual fan, like I said, I was discussing with my brother. My brother knows most of them because he's been watching since the 90s. But like, he's my nephew. He went like to these guys. It's just a few old Japanese guys that can't move, and then Okada, who's just there's a big Japanese guy. Like, there's been no hint at who they are. So it's not bringing in the casual fan. But yeah, so that started a brawl. Okada looked very stiff, I'm going to be honest, when he was trying to do stuff. He looked confused. And then he hit his, and then he hit his, he tried to hit them Rainmaker, he ducked out, and that was the end of that. So we followed this big segment with Okada with the bloody baddies. There was a fun part where he said drum roll please, and he actually went drum roll, and then she went so Red Velvet's out, so now on Twitter, if you put the hashtag be a baddie or something on there, you give them the 120 essay of why you can be a baddie. I'm going to be a baddie. I'm going to put my essay in.
Oh, ladies, keep it PG.
Keep it PG, yeah. And then, cut the shit, Tony. But it's PG.
Oh, I meant to say during the Christian promo, sorry, speaking of Jade line to cut the shit. You know how initially they were chanting shut the F up?
Yeah.
At him. Like, no word of a lie, the cameraman picks out a kid that couldn't have been more than 5 chanting shut the F up. And it's one thing, like, being an irresponsible parent and letting your kid chant that at a show. It's another thing, having the cameraman pick them out. Like, my wife was getting ready to leave at the time, and I was watching, and she was like getting ready to leave, and she's like, "Did that wee boy just shout shut the F up?"
It's America, it's fine.
These damn tiny parents.
Yep. So yeah, this followed straight up with a segment with Statlander Athena. Tony Schiavone's everywhere. It was basically them just ribbing the whole segment. Statlander's got a bit more personality now, which is pretty cool. But that was pretty much it. Then we had Sophia versus Storm. This was probably Sophia's best match. Like, I think it's because the fans were actually into it because of Okada being there. I think they were still happy about that. My opinion changed on Toni Storm as well. Like, she actually seems to be having good matches now and seems to actually want to be there. So there's good graps at the start. Ended up with Nyla Rose on the outside hitting a senton that looked the most grimmest senton I've ever had in my life. I think it was just the fun of her, but it sounded horrible.
There was a couple of spots in the match where I was convinced that Sophia was intentionally trying to concuss Toni Storm.
Yeah, she got paid off. That's what it is. It's the Hulk Hogan Iron Shake. I'm going to mention the Iron Shake every time I can now.
I mean, like, what there was, especially during, I think, was it a Spine Buster or something? You see a proper crack her head back, and then immediately after that move, pick her up and dump her on her head again.
Yeah, protect your head. Tuck it in.
But yeah, if you're being dropped on it.
Yeah, you can. Look at Bob Holly. Didn't end badly for him. So yeah, there was a headbutt from Toni Storm at that point. Then she hit a tornado DDT. There was a few moves from that, and then she just got a quick roll-up, which was probably slightly disappointing that Toni Storm, the challenger, needed to get a quick roll-up to pick up the win. So right, it was an average matchup, 2.5. And then obviously it was started with the shenanigans afterwards. Rosa coming down to help out, and then Storm having the bout, hitting her, and then she's like, yeah, just the face down for Forbidden Door. I'm still thinking at Forbidden Door they should have got a Stardom girl in, just for this show.
100%.
Because it's just a random AEW match on the card.
14 matches on that, if you include the kickoff. Got a single woman feature.
Just would have made sense just to get a Stardom girl and just,
Even Wrestle Kingdom has Stardom matches.
Yeah.
She's like, Maki Ito. She's always been in it before.
Let's not do that. And then we had All In and Sting segment. They basically announced their tag partners, which are going to be Shingo and Arumo from Los Angeles Day Upon. So that's pretty cool that they're mixing the tag teams. It's not just New Japan versus AEW. They're actually on the same side, kind of, as well. And then this followed up by Excalibur botching the whole of the package for the following Rampage and Forbidden Door. He was trying to say it too quickly, and he was flushed to himself. He was going like, "It's the United States Championship, the United States Championship with Ospreay." He was absolutely butchering it. And then I noticed there's no Tetsuya Naito on this card.
Yeah, that was weird.
But yeah, so we're on to the main event, and we're nearly at the end of this hellacious time. So it's Archer and Jericho versus Moxley and Tanahashi. So this started with a jump start. Lance Archer a pounce, which is always nice to see. Jericho tried for a loin salt, but landed on his knees. We had a hot tag for Tanahashi. He had a flipping senton, which was pretty cool. And Jericho got the code breaker in. Mox hit a dive, because, someone needs to dive every match. Then Tanahashi hit a one knee code breaker, basically. Then he hit the high flow, but then he got to the walls of Jericho. Mox stopped this with a cutter. Then we saw the Tanahashi sling blade, which was what I was looking forward to anyway. And then this ended with the shift and then a frog splash, which I think he classes the high five flow anyway. Yeah. Still, rate that 3 stars. Good matchup.
It was, and you can tell Archer was in there for the pin.
Yeah, even though he's in the G1, it's like no. So yeah, this started a stare down. Then there was a massive brawl with every man. Refs coming down. Yep. Dynamite.
You mean Nitro?
Thunder.
That was the most like WCW Nitro.
And they actually funny in it as well.
To me, that was just like WCW Nitro Slamboree Go Home show angle.
And the highlight was Yuta getting a popcorn bucket on his head from Suzuki. That's the highlight of that brawl. But yeah.
As always, a lot of wrestling we watch for you guys. And we're timely as well. Like, this is episode 16. And we've not missed a single day. We've always put out at least, if it's not the 3 of us or 4 of us, there's always an episode. So we are showing that consistency, guys. So please support that in the form of a like. If you're on any of the podcast platforms, of which are many, please give us a follow and add us to your favourites. Our socials and everything are in the description as always, and on screen as you can see I've set up now. The main show Twitter is at honor_club. It's honour with a U because we are British. Which eventually when we get Tori on, she'll be able to shout at me for.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she'll be outvoted, so it's fine. And I'll just start singing Ricochet's theme at her. One and only.
That'll be the one and only time you do it as well, probably.
Probably just appear in my room to snap my neck.
So the next time we see you will be for Rate's Sparkle Saturdays. I believe you're still doing a solo review on Sunday, or are you doing Forbidden Door on?
Oh no, I've still got a solo review. It's going to be New Japan Road Day 5, which was main evented by Ishimori versus Takahashi. And then I'm seeing Kamikaze tomorrow night.
What is the plan for Forbidden Door?
Forbidden Door will be covered on Tuesday's news show.
Okay.
And the project that we discussed will come out on the Wednesday. We'll record it that day.
Yeah.
But it'll come out on the Wednesday.
Okay, sound.
DP is going to be on webcam, that's the project.
DP, free yourself up for Tuesday.
So thanks everyone for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, share us around, and we'll see you next week. Take
See
care,
you
everyone.
later.
Bye.